Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I thought I would do a video on a kind of Tashie's Instagram tips and tricks video on how to have a cohesive aesthetic feed and how to keep up with it and easier ways, just tips on like easier ways to keep up with it basically, so you don't stress yourself out, because we've all been there when you just get too stressed because your feed doesn't look great and you just don't know what to do about it. Okay, so first of all, don't stress, it's not that big a deal. It's just Instagram. And I know a lot of us, myself, and I'm sure a lot of you that are watching this do Instagram as a job or a second job or solely your own job. So I feel you, I hear you. It is important because nothing stresses me out more when your feed doesn't look great. When you look at it as a whole and you're just like, oh, it's just not working. So I just thought I would give you some tips on stuff that I've picked up along the way to help make it easier to keep it consistent. So first of all, I would say, obviously it starts from the photo. It's not just, a lot of people think it's obviously just your editing. And in a way it is, because obviously you're keeping the colours and the tones the same with your editing or filter choice, if you use a filter at all. But it actually is just the photo to begin with. For example, if your feed is majority white or neutral, don't take a photo with a red bus. It's just common sense, just don't do it. If you really want to take that photo with a red bus, that's fine, you can do that, but what you would have to do, in my opinion, and I have done this, is you could post the photo of the red bus, but you'd have to weave into a slightly off aesthetic path on your feed, and then you could come back in. That is totally fine, and one of my biggest tips for you is don't stress if the photo doesn't totally go. But all you need to do is take a few in that collection or from that day that do go, and then you can weave in. I would say ideally, let me just get out my Instagram. Okay, so I'm just going to put my phone here. So I'd say ideally try and keep it to, if you're going to weave for at least 369 frames, like 369 frames. If you could do 12 frames, even better, but 9 would be fine. So just like to weave in. I mean, I do it, like you can see here, my feed was kind of browny, neutrally, goldy tones. And then here I got lost, and then here it went a bit more bluey with the blue pictures, because obviously I was away. So when you're on holiday in a hot place, you're going to have probably a lot of blue sky and blue sea, but it's fine to just add that in. So I added that in, and then you can see here it's coming back out again, like it's going away from these recent rows. It's going away, but I am going probably away soon, so it's going to come back. But what I'm basically saying is it's fine to weave in and out of your feed. Like, don't be afraid to post a photo that doesn't exactly go, because you can always take other photos that do go with it. So it's just like a little snake. It's a little snake. And to be honest, it is boring. If your feed is so consistent and so matching, I'm just going to stop recording my screen, so consistent and so like in tune for like months, it's really freaking boring, isn't it? At first glance, if you see a page like that, you're like, wow. But then when you start scrolling down, you're just a bit like, gets a bit boring. So don't be afraid to change it up. I'm not talking about going from like a neutral feed to a bright pink feed. You can do that, but I wouldn't weave in from something so different. So my biggest tip is to weave. My second biggest tip is filler photos. I've spoken about these loads on my channel, not really so much recently, but a while ago I spoke about these on my page, on my channel, because to me they're super important. If you don't know what I mean by a filler photo, which if you've been with me for a while you definitely do, a filler photo is basically a photo that's not you. basically whatever your main content is, whether it's a picture of yourself, your makeup, whether it's a picture of your body and your outfits, whether it's a picture of your food, whether it's a picture of scenery. You don't want every single picture to be of you, or of scenery, or of food. You need to break it up. So a filler photo is exactly that. It breaks up your feed as a whole. So for me, obviously, majority of my content is of me, whether it's my makeup or my fashion or my editing or just me in general. You need to break it up. So this, for example, is a filler photo. This is a filler photo. Even this, even though it is me holding it, obviously, it's still a filler photo because I'm not fully in it. This could be anyone. To me, a filler photo is basically a picture where it could be anyone. Like, it's not personal to you, or it's out of sync of how you would normally take your photos. So for example, if you're a foodie blogger and you always take photos of your food, say from above, and you show the food, you want something to break that up. So you need something that's different to break up the normal content you post. Coffee photos are great filler photos. Hands are also really, really good filler photos, and product shots. Unless obviously that's all you do, then that's not breaking your usual content, but for me it is. So this. So I would highly recommend, whenever you can, trying to get those filler photos. Whether you've got a coffee, just take a photo of the coffee and just save it in your bank stock. I have like a little folder in my photos called bank stock. Just keep some filler photos in there, but I also obviously keep them on as well, so I can see when they can slot in perfectly. I also do use WeHeartIt or Pinterest to find filler photos if I don't have one for myself. Don't be afraid to use other photos as filler photos because they're just inspo photos. That is totally fine. I definitely wouldn't recommend using a person as a filler photo, or like someone else's face or someone else's hair or something like that, but anything else that isn't personal, there's no person in it, I would recommend using for a filler photo, as in like this one. This is not my photo. I wish it was. It's such a cool photo. But this is not my photo, but it worked really, really well as a filler photo at that point. You can see it works in really well with my feed. I do want to just let you know that your girl's got your back, because I've actually been working on a new page on Instagram. Yes. And I wanted it to be an inspo page. So I'm posting photos that I just think are really, really cool, just to inspire myself and people following. But I also want it to be a page where you guys can come and find really, really decent filler photos ready to go. Obviously, you can re-edit them however fits into your page, but I just wanted a place where you guys can follow and know if you're like, oh, I really could do with a filler photo to break this up. Let me go over and find one. So the page is called, was it this photo I got it from? Yeah, so I tagged it in this photo. My page is called 24 Inspo. This is how it looks. So it's got some pictures which are just of people, which are like inspo pictures, like this one of Alexis Ren, for example. But the majority are filler photos. So you have rings. This is such a cool filler photo. Yeah, it's a person, but you can't tell who it is. It's a faceless person. It's totally fine to use. I love this shot. Then you even have like this. This would work so well if you've got this color scheme on your page. This would work so well. Bags are always really good. Hands and bags. There, as you can see, is the plain one I took. Coffee ones. This is freaking cute. More coffee ones. This is actually Megan, so maybe you could use this one, but make sure you tag her if you do. I will tag everyone in these photos if I know where they've come from, but I don't know where most of them come from because most of them are off Pinterest or WeHeartIt. But if I do, then I will tag them. But yeah, I just wanted to make this have like loads of inspo filler photos for you guys to be able to use. So like quotes, necklaces and rings, coffees, like just stuff like that. So it's a place where you can come. I thought that was really cool. And then you guys can tag me in your photos, and if I think they're like filler photo worthy, then I'll put them in here and tag you, and then people repost your photo and we can grow a little community, you know. So tag, I've put it in there, use the hashtag to tag in a photo. Some of you guys, I don't know if some of you guys know that this was my page. I'm actually running it with my friends, so it's both of us running it. It's not just me. But because some of you have been tagging us in your photos. I don't know if that was just a coincidence or if you know it's me. I don't know. This is super cute. See, like, this is really cute. So yeah, definitely, like, loads of you have been tagging. So yeah, tag us in your photos, we'll post them, and go on here for filler photos. This is really cute. This one, shout out to you, let's like it. I don't know how you say that, Lay. But yeah, I just wanted to create a place where we can all go and chat and share cool content that we can use as filler photos. And I think just the last thing I want to say is don't be afraid to change your feed. Like, you can do whatever you want, it's your page. So if you look at it and you're like, it's just, like, you're not thinking it's just not working right now, you're thinking I just hate everything, then change it. That's totally fine. The person I found the other day, which I thought was like, I didn't find it the day, I do follow them, but I looked at her page the other day because I follow her, but I'm not like, I don't look at her content a lot. But Resi, I looked at her page the other day and I was like, damn, like, she really goes into different themes, like, all the time. Like, look at it. So here, she's obviously in yellow. Like, that's got so much yellow going on. This is exactly what I'm talking about. She knows she's in yellow. She's finding yellow photos to make it work as a feed. Like, it's exactly what I'm talking about. And then down here, she goes into red. And then this is all going red stuff going on. Still red. And then down here, I love this section. This is like more neutral, nudie, like snake print, like really nice neutral tones. I love this part of her page a lot. Quite white as well, I guess. But you can see, like, you wouldn't think this page and this page, you wouldn't even think it's the same person. And it's not even, you can see, it's not even that far apart. And then she was on this neutral vibe for a while. I loved it. Then down here, she went into pink. And down here, she went into like orangey rusty colour. Still kind of, I really like this as well. Then down here, she's in purple. And then down here, she's back to pink again, like pink. So, definitely take some inspo from that. It's fine to have different sections of a page. It makes it interesting. And it made me scroll down her page for a long time. So, definitely don't worry about that. Get into it and just be creative and post what you want to post. If you have a section of 12 photos where it's totally different from the rest, that's totally fine. Just run with whatever you're feeling. Look at this pastel stage. So yeah, I think she's done really, really well in terms of like creating new things on her feed all the time and keeping it fresh and keeping it new. But I really can't stress enough the helpfulness that filler photos have. Because you're going to pick a filler photo that has the exact right tone that you need, because you have that option to pick it and have the exact tone you need to make the other photos mesh well together. Like, don't forget the importance of them because they are super important to make your page work. Let me just have a look at some other examples. So another example of using filler photos, Janice, I don't know how to say her surname. But you can see, like, obviously she's the same as me, not the same as me, but the same as me in such that she's more like makeup and fashion and travel. But you can see here, like this photo, for example, she's just used that to break it up from having pictures of herself. Because next to it, she has herself, and then she has herself again. So she's using these filler photos to break up her page, which is exactly what you need to do. Another tip, which I didn't mention but I have mentioned before, is don't have two pictures that are too similar next to each other. So don't post a selfie next to a selfie. Whether it's this way or this way, just don't post two selfies next to each other or two standing next to each other. Like, try and keep it different. So like, if I look at this, for example, we've got a full length standing. Next to it, I have a half body from behind. Next, I have a laying down. Then I have a filler photo. Try and break it up a bit. Yeah, I think that's all the tips I can think of right now. I will do an updated one if I think of some more. But right now, that's all I think I have for you. I will be doing an updated how I edit my Insta stories soon. because I just did one, but you guys are asking for another one already, so I will do that as well. But that's everything for this video, so if you liked it, give it a thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye guys!